Today, we've got a seller back on the show for the first time in 3 years, and he went from almost hitting $10 million of sales in a year to zero because his accounts got suspended, and now he's already back up to seven figures. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium. I'm your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And now, right here where I am, it is 1:50 a.m., and I'm talking, I think you're in the Philippines right now.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in Manila right now.
What time is it over there?
It's 4:50 p.m.
4:50 p.m. Okay, so that's what we got to do when we have an international company. We got to do stuff at times when people are awake. And because I knew you're in the Philippines, I've got my Republika ng Pilipinas hat here. And then, do you recognize this logo that I'm wearing on my shirt?
Jollibee.
Jollibee, yes, very good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly voted #1 chicken in the United States as well, 2 years in a row. But I'm breaking out my Jollibee shirt just for this episode. Have you eaten there? Or eaten? I can't. I guess I can speak Tagalog because I can't speak English. Have you eaten there since you've been there, or you just been mainly traveling around the kind of rural places?
So here I just see all the time, like a lot of fast food, and I'm just trying to avoid that. Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the Philippines now. From your accent, you are not Filipino. So where are you? Where were you born and raised?
Yeah, so I'm from India. I born and raised in Jodhpur in Rajasthan. It's northwest of India. So like till my early teenage, I was there, and then I moved to another city for my university. Like I studied law. So I think till the year
There in India, you studied law?
Yeah, I studied in New Delhi. So I studied law for 5 years there. Yeah, so basically I was working on my business even before I started my university. I was having Amazon business, and I was also before that I was also doing eBay and some local marketplace in India. And
what year are we talking about roughly?
So I started selling online since 2013, like actively.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And initially I didn't start at Amazon because Amazon didn't even started in India that time. So I was doing more on eBay. eBay was a really big
eBay was in India?
Yeah, it was really big thing, and there were other platforms like ShopClues, Traders. So yeah, I started.
What kind of things were you selling?
So I had some Chinese friend, like I met some online, all this stuff. So I used to buy memory cards, pen drive from my Chinese supplier and start selling those on eBay. Like it was all online. As I was coordinating with them on WeChat or email during those time. So that's how I started, but it was very small business. Honestly, I wasn't making something significant.
So it's like wholesale, not really private label.
Arbitrage, yeah.
Yeah,
I was doing more of that.
Okay, and like what so like in the average year, while you were in law school and doing this on the side, like how much time were you spending on it, and what was like if you're translated to dollars, what was like your yearly gross revenue?
I was already doing almost 100K US dollars in sale at least. And my profit was like at least 20K, 25K initially, like, first 1 2 year, which was more than enough for me to fund my lifestyle because India is not that super expensive.
Yeah.
I was also able to fund my law school, tuition fees, my stay, my food. I wasn't really traveling outside India at that time. So yeah, it was good money, I guess.
At what point were you like, wait a minute, maybe I don't need to do law. Maybe this e-commerce thing actually could be my future. Do you remember when you had that like light bulb moment, or was it like a certain revenue that you hit, or what gave you that feeling?
Yeah, so in my third year of the university, my business was doing really good. I was already doing like a few 100K in profit, like maybe 200K or 300K. In 2017 and 2018, like that kind of the year was really good. So I wasn't really like, why would I'm doing this? And I was always like, listening to a lot of people like how Mark Zuckerberg dropped out, or how a lot of other people dropped out. Maybe university is not a thing. I should quit and fully focus on my business because it was such an early stage, like e-commerce industry during that time. And I knew it could be a next big thing. So I told my mentor, like I want to quit. I don't want to pursue my university. I talked to a lot of people, and they all say like, "Oh, you already did 3 years. It's just a matter of 2 more years. You should do it." Then I still continued, but I wasn't really focused on studies at all. Like my attendance was also always less than 60% or something like that.
Wow. So then, yeah, I mean, that would be like making $1 million, $2 million in the US, that kind of money in India. So for sure, I think you definitely made the right choice. When did you expand to Amazon USA? What year?
So in USA, I started like I was doing in USA during that time as well through eBay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
eBay. Okay.
yeah, I was doing mostly arbitrage during that time as well. So what like I did made a lot of money, like in 2017, 2018, but there was some problems. I was also doing some other things as well, like stock market and all this stuff, and I was losing a lot of money doing that. So because of that, I wasn't able to aggressively expand my business. I was making money somewhere, but I was also
Mhm.
losing money somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
already doing USA, it was really hard. I didn't have a local bank account. I didn't know a lot of things, how to get it doing, and I didn't have a local company or something. Like a lot of times my account was getting suspended. I was like, maybe I started with eBay. I was doing arbitrage in USA.
Yeah.
Maybe in 60 days, I already did like 100K in sales, and then eBay suspends my account. So it was
Mhm.
always like that, like a lot of issues, and I didn't know how to navigate this thing. So just
Yeah.
making new account, selling, stopping, selling, stopping, always like that.
Now, the last time you were on the podcast
Hmm.
was 2023. And in my notes here, it says, so the last full year of sales was 2022, obviously. And you had done $5 million or over
Yeah,
$5 million that year.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Now, of that 5 million,
Mm.
like how much was still arbitrage, reselling versus private label, would you say, like percentage wise?
So in the year 2022, I think 50%, 45-50% was through reselling, and 50%, like 45-50% was through my private label.
How was it when you made your first like private label product? What was it? Were you nervous? Because until now, or, for years and years in India and USA, you were mainly doing like reselling. It's like, hey, the demand is already there. You don't have to make listings. You don't have to do images. You don't have to do quality checks and this and that. So
Yeah,
what was your first private label product? Do you remember what it was?
yeah, it was in 2018 in India. I started with like a lightning cable, Apple lightning cable. I started with that. I imported from China. The product was really nice, but the quality was so bad. So like if I had a good reviews of the product, I could have done better, but unfortunately there was a lot of quality issues. So I failed honestly, and then I just discontinued with my private label. During that, like whatever inventory I had, I just disposed that after trying for like maybe 6-7 months. It was not profitable at all. Like I lost
Yeah.
maybe 10-15 grand in that launch.
Wow.
But then I started my private label again in 2020 during COVID, and that made like a really big thing. And I also started selling capture cards as well during the COVID. Like I'm talking about in August 2020, and that was one of the best product I have ever launched. I was able to make like so much money from that one launch that it able to fund my another 30-40 products in private label.
At what point did you start using Helium 10? Was it when you were already selling on Amazon India, or was it until you started selling in Amazon USA?
So I do know like about Helium 10, like it was a really big thing, and I started using Helium 10 in 2020
Okay.
during the COVID time, like when I started with my private label, and it was really important for me to use some tools for ranking my product, like how to get the keywords, how to optimize my listing. So yeah, that's when I started, and I also started watching some YouTube videos as well. Like private label was a really new thing for me. I don't know how to advertise and how to do the marketing thing. What is
Yeah.
automatic, like an automatic advertisement or manually in that. Yeah.
Now that year, 2022, 5.5 million. Since then, you've had other full years. Was that your best year, or did you like in 2023 or 2024 or later? Did you hit a bigger number in one year?
So the way my 2023 started, I was pretty sure that I would be doing at least $10 million in sales. But definitely a lot of things happened. But that year I did like around 6.4 or $3 million, something like that. So
Okay.
2023 was better, but nothing what I really wanted, honestly.
And what happened that kind of like, stunted your growth? First of all, I
Hmm.
remember in the last podcast, one of the big things was 5 million plus a year account, and you were pretty much the only employee. Like you didn't have like a
Hmm.
whole, like a team of employees. You were just running everything by yourself, right?
Yeah. So after that podcast, and I also was in Puerto Rico that year, like there was
Oh,
like
the
event.
$1 billion seller summit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that really recharged, like charged me with aggressive private label approach. I started like focusing more on building brands and scaling those brands, and then maybe exit later. So I started few brands during that time, but also something happened during that time. So I was trying to help one of my friend. He was also starting in India, like in USA, with some jewelry, and he had some mapping, by some Chinese sellers. His brand was not yet registered, so he was not able to control that, like to remove that Chinese seller because he was just undercutting his price. And I told him, hey, you can just put my brand name, and I can remove that seller because he's using my brand name. But what happened that time, like I was able to remove that seller, but Amazon after 10-15 days started removing all my brands because all my accounts are interlinked. Like even if I had a company in USA, Canada, Australia, my brand registry account was all interlinked because I was doing almost same brand in all those markets. Amazon removed all my brands, saying that I was doing brand abuse. And that time I also went to Seattle, like in the Amazon conference. To
What happened though when you told them, no, this is my brand. This is my brand registry. Here is my trademark. What would they say?
So the problem is that I think when I was trying to remove that seller or something like that, that's when the issue happened. And I tried everything. I like it was all my brands registered under my company's name. There was not an issue related to ownership or something like that. It was more something like that brand abuse thing, the Amazon policy. And certainly I was abusing because I shouldn't be doing that thing. What I tried to help my friend, but I didn't know that thing at all, and it just happened. And I tried my best, uh, met some like a higher team of Amazon to solve this issue when I was in the Seattle, but honestly, it didn't work at all. I was completely hopeless,
So
honestly.
even in Amazon Accelerate,
Yeah,
um,
Amazon Accelerate. Yeah,
they weren't able, the what do you call it, Seller Cafe, they weren't able to fix it for you.
they said like, "Oh, we will do it. We will try our best and everything," but honestly, they didn't. But I
So
can
so
also
so does
understand.
this mean that all of your accounts were affected, like on Amazon? Like I know you were selling on other marketplaces, maybe
Mhm.
eBay, but did entirety of all your Amazon accounts go to zero during this time?
So all my private label business went to zero slowly, slowly. It didn't happen overnight, but because I didn't had the access to my own brands, it was like declining. I was not able to create new listings, like a lot of things. Like all those brands were removed, so I was not able to use a lot of advertisement tools, features which are for the private label brands. So slowly, slowly, my all the brands started dying. Like reviews are getting missed. Like there were reviews were not able to synchronize in like across the marketplaces. So that really impacted like everything. It didn't happen overnight, but of course the removal of the brand was completely overnight, and slowly, slowly, all those brands were impacted. Like all those
So
brand
it went from
those
6 million in 2023, and then what was 2024 because of what happened?
it was around $2.7 million, something like that.
And a lot of that was like your reselling stuff, not
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
your brand.
Yeah, but like I was after my brands stopped, like private label, I became more aggressive with my reselling. But a lot of things happened in 2024 as well. So I was since I was super aggressive with reselling, I was trying to work with more and more new suppliers, not just with my existing brands which I was already doing. So what happened during that year? I think in the month of August, I was selling some Logitech brand products. I had a lot of connection in China with my suppliers and everything. So I started buying some Logitech brand products, and I made sure that they have the certificate and everything. And I launched some new brands as well. Like I started a new account, and I started doing some private label. Like I was already working on new brands as well. So those accounts were completely new and not impacted because of what happened with the brand registry thing. But I wanted to push more sales in those accounts because they were really new. So I started doing some Logitech brand reselling as well in those accounts. And what happened? One of the customer, I think I got complaint of inauthentic about those product, and since it was such a new account, Amazon straight away suspended my account, and they said
Oh
like
my goodness.
I need to prove the supply chain. So I tried my best, like all the certificates and everything, all the proof I had. But the problem was that Amazon was not able to verify that supplier online or something. And in China, even the products are authentic and everything. A lot of times, a brand doesn't disclose their relationship, publicly with those suppliers. So that account was suspended. But Amazon have a unique policy. If you one of your account is suspended, they can
Yep.
suspend all your related account, and it
That's
means
why I tell everybody, yes, Amazon says you can have multiple accounts, but I don't care. If I have multiple accounts,
mm,
I create them on remote servers that have no link to each other. I have no information sharing, no LLCs, no phone number sharing, and then I start the account on a remote server and then make a sub account, and that's what I log in on my computers. Because even though Amazon says, yeah, no problem to have multiple accounts, they're still, if one gets suspended, everything that you're related to gets suspended. So it sounds like that's what happened to you. How many accounts did you have that was affected?
7 accounts. I had seven different
Oh,
companies. 7 different companies I had in Canada, Australia, UK, Estonia, India.
wow. And so then this is what year? Still 2024?
Yes, yes, 2024
Okay.
started from 5th of August. I remember the exact date when I got the email from Amazon of when my initial account got suspended. And slowly, in a matter of 2 3 months, all my account got suspended. It
Wow.
was one of the hardest period of my life. I was completely depressed. I was that time like I was in Greece. I recently moved there, and then I just moved back to India. I was there for 2 months with my family. That really helped me a lot. And
Did sales go to zero at this time, or you still had some like eBay or other non-Amazon that you were making a little bit of cash flow?
because it didn't all the accounts didn't happen overnight. Slowly,
Mhm.
slowly. In fact, my last account which got suspended was in February 2025, which was my last account. So it was slowly, slowly, like it's just kind of slow pain. It's
Yeah.
coming,
But,
not
but but it
coming.
wasn't all Amazon, right? Or was it all Amazon? Did you go to zero, or did you still have some money coming in February of 2025? Did you have some money coming from somewhere else?
Some money coming from somewhere else because I started business on my mother's name.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I know that already things are going on down the hill,
Yeah.
I should have a plan B. But
Yeah.
some money was still coming from my Europe business, but eventually that also stopped in February. So I was so close to be hitting no sales, completely zero. But
Yeah.
somehow my initial action, like I started the new business in November or December 2024. So that really helped me. But I lost all my those accounts, which were some of them were like kind of aged accounts. I
Mhm.
had a lot of feedbacks, like a lot of things, with those accounts. And those since those accounts suspended, I was not able to remove the inventory in most of those. It was a huge loss, like
Yeah.
huge loss, like not just of sales, but also almost 700K worth of inventory, which I lost, and few
Oh,
million
they
dollars.
didn't like send it. You couldn't like remove the inventory and get it back to you.
Because this Logitech issue was such a serious issue for them.
Uh-huh.
So they like for my US accounts, they made that like I cannot even remove those inventory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did
So
did you had you paid fully for it, or were you like on a payment plan? And you had to keep making payments, or what kind of cash flow effect did it have?
so with one of my supplier, I was doing cash. they did let me use the credit facility, but I had some surplus cash all the time, so I wasn't really trying to get that credit facility. And with my another supplier, I had used, but it was not something significant. It was like around 100K, but they were really nice and cooperative, and they gave me some extra time. Like they gave me 5 months for the repayment, and because my new business was doing some sales, so slowly I was able to repay that as well.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So big hit. And also, like I know for a few years by then, you were already living the digital nomad life. Like if anybody follows your Instagram, you were like in a different country every week and jumping out of airplanes and stuff. And so going from that millionaire lifestyle and then now back living with your parents, that was probably a big psychological hit to you too.
Yeah, it was just for 2 months. It was not really long time, but in October 2024, I decided I went to some yoga retreat that time, and a lot of meditation and everything. I met a lot of amazing people who really helped me to uplift me. And then in November 2024, I started traveling as a solo backpacker. So I went. It doesn't cost a lot. I'm not sure if it was the best decision that time, because traveling cost money. But it was, I think, one of the best decisions, because it really helped me to uplift. And slowly over the months, I realized that I can start everything again, and that's why I started new business in December 2024 on my mother's name. And like it just gave me, like, you meet a lot of different people from all around the world, and no, not everyone have their own stories, and I realized that I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I'm still young, fit. I don't have any disease. Why not just start again?
Yeah. Did you have some savings saved up?
Yeah, somewhat, not
Okay.
a lot, but yeah, I wasn't really planning a lot with my finance that time, because everything was doing so good in my life. So I wasn't really serious about that thing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. And then when you started this new business, was it very similar to the brands that you were doing, or did you start something completely different?
so I started doing again the business, and I started setting up new accounts, new companies. Not still not able to reach the level what I had in 2023 or 2024,
Yeah.
but doing really good, I think. Yeah, now I have a less risk in my business, more little bit diversified, and also as
How do you have less risk? What are you doing differently now than you did before?
most importantly, not having all the accounts under my name or on one person name. I think that's
Yeah.
the most important thing. So that's really helping me, and slowly, like now I'm like, again, bootstrapping again, like, making
Yeah.
profit, then expanding in another market. So I think in next 1 2 months, I would be able to reach out the geographical, like, marketplaces, like all the marketplaces I was doing till 2024. So my European business will be starting in next 1 month as well, I guess.
Okay. Are you still using Helium 10 today? Helium 10 didn't shut your account down like Amazon did, right?
Yeah, I still use Helium, but not for now keyword research and all the stuff. I still use to check the inventory, and
Mhm.
to see my sales. Like since I'm doing a lot of marketplace and I have a lot of SKU, it helps me to know how many units I sold in that specific day of this, like, in this specific market. So just to track down if something is not is, I just get one email and I get the data, like if yesterday was
Yeah.
good or not. If something had a significant changes, I just act on that. Like what went wrong? Why I didn't had good sales yesterday? Why this?
Yeah.
So it just helps me with that.
If somebody out there is in a similar situation as you, where
Hmm.
maybe they're just starting from scratch,
Hmm.
or maybe they have to restart again, and they are like, you know what, maybe I should do this reselling thing to get some cash flow, like you did. How would somebody get these relationships? Like you said, that's the key of why you're successful is you have these good relationships, almost exclusive relationship, it sounds, with some of these suppliers. How did you find these people? And can people today still do the same thing? Can they find brands that they can get exclusive with and be able to do resell?
I feel like I feel like investing in the relationship with the people is one of the most important thing in life, that you don't know how it can help, not just about reseller, but I'm talking about like just people in general, like and one of my American, like I have accountant in America, though I lost my business and everything, I still have a good relationship with him as well. Whenever I get the opportunity to be in USA, I visit him, and he told me one thing: Swapnil, I think you really like to meet people and invest in those relationships. Though I was not having any relationship with him right now. I was not working with him, but I just went. I took a bus from New York. I went to Albany. It was like 3 hours journey just to meet him for 2 hours, and then came back on the same day. And like he was so impressed because I put this effort, just to visit him without expecting anything from him, without wanting anything from him. So even with my suppliers, I was always the way I am, like, was just very genuine. And if I had some issues or anything, I was always telling them before they would know. I think it's important that you're always transparent, even if something is not doing good, because at the end of the day, you are just human being, and you're not supposed to have everything perfect all year around or all your life. There would be time where you will have a lot of problems, and reach out
Mm-hmm.
to the people. Like because I was in Accelerator and all those events, I did met a lot of amazing sellers.
What about your private label on the private label side?
Hmm.
Um, how ha- how have you found it different now starting from scratch, like in 2025, 2026,
Mhm.
as opposed to, 5, 6 years ago? Like what are you doing differently, if anything, to get traction?
So I was always into tech products before. I'm launching new product, have a life of maybe 1 year, 2 years. I have to
Mm-hmm.
again start again. So now I'm not really focusing more on tech product, but rather than the products which have a longer shelf life, I guess, like long like product cycle, which can have a more like longer product cycle, which is really important
Mm-hmm.
because you invest so much to build a brand, and nowadays it's so expensive to build a brand as well, like with those marketing thing. And now
Yeah.
the marketing is just not related to Amazon. You also need to focus on meta platforms. You need to focus on TikTok. Certainly, if you know the right way, the brand building could be easier, but it could be a lot expensive as well.
And so now, what do you think you'll end 2026 in sales?
So 2025, I already did around $2.2 million sales, and this year, surprisingly, I already did more than 1.5 of in 6 months. So I expect at least I can do another $2 to $3 million maybe. Like not I will see how my European market thing goes, because that would be contributing most of my sales. Like because
Yeah.
it can add more in the sales. So I expect maybe 2.5 to 3. I would be happy if I can achieve that.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Let's talk a couple strategies really quick before we go here on something that you're doing that you think is fairly unique out there, either from your resale side of the business or from your private label side, from your advertising, going cross border, your inventory. I mean, whatever. It could be about anything. What's a unique strategy you think that sets you apart from others?
So when it comes to reselling business, definitely there's a lot of competition. There would be always a lot of sellers who will be selling as well. But what strategy I can suggest is inventory, because Amazon like to spread out the inventory. And if a product is selling maybe like 1,000 unit a month, you need to make sure that your product is like the inventory have you have at least 3x, at least 3x. That's what I feel, because then Amazon will be able to spread out your inventory even more, and you can get better sales, because Amazon want to deliver to the customer as fast as possible. This is the goal of Amazon. So if you will have more spreaded inventory, Amazon can deliver faster. Customer is happy,
Mhm.
Amazon is happy, and you will gonna get the buy box.
What's your like how do you judge how much inventory to send? Is it based on your like sales velocity, and then you say, hey, I want to have 45 days, 30 days, or something like that, and then replenish every so often? Or how do you tackle your formulas as far as how much inventory to keep?
I normally do 7 days, last 7 days sales. I will take the average of that and I will multiply with
Mhm.
90. That's it.
And then when do you send more? Like when it gets down to 60, now you go back to 90, or do you wait till it gets to 45 or 45 days, or how do you wait?
So it's a like alarm sign for me already if it's 90 days. And
Mhm.
nowadays, Amazon also have AWD, you know.
Yeah.
So I use that feature quite often. If I have inventory worth more than 90 days, just put in the inventory there. So yeah, all those top selling product, I make sure I can keep the inventory of more than 90 days at least.
Okay. And you don't get any long-term storage fees with that?
When you use AWD, it just becomes quite efficient. And I think for 3 months, you don't get a lot of storage fees.
Yeah.
If until it's like 6 months or 1 year, then it just become crazy. And also,
Yeah.
I'm more like concerned, like careful with my inventory during October to December, because all the storage fees is almost double. But also you need a lot of inventory as well. But in my category, the winter is not the best months because the the sales is little less. But because of Black Friday and all those events, definitely I get a lot of sales.
Okay. With AWD, do you have to trigger the replenishment from AWD to FBA, or it does it automatically?
It does automatically, but I sometimes also check if there's some issue with that. Sometimes you will not gonna know with the Amazon may think that you have sufficient inventory. I think I don't have sufficient inventory, so I just do manually.
You're back to traveling. Well, like I know you've
Mhm.
been in the
Yeah.
Philippines last couple of weeks. First of all, what's your favorite spot you've been to in the Philippines? I'll be going. Yeah, and will you be anywhere around Manila next week? Because I'll be in Manila for one day next
Oh
week.
shit. I'm going to Bali tomorrow.
Oh, okay, going to
Yeah,
Bali.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
Where did you like best in Philippines?
the best are the people, honestly. You may have a beautiful beach, other parts of the world,
Mhm.
but the people are really amazing.
Yeah.
They're really amazing people. And I also did one expedition from Coron to Enlido. So I was in the
Mm,
boat for 3 days and 2 nights, and sleeping on some remote island. Many of the time there was no internet, and it was one of the
nice.
best experience. You eat the local food. You are mostly always in the sea. You do a lot of snorkeling. You see a lot of hidden gems, like which are not super
Yeah.
touristic. And many of the times it's just your boat and the amount of people there only on the island. And in my boat, it was just 7 people. So it was such a great experience. Yeah, and I was also in Mayan volcano, near to Mayan volcano. It's a Legazpi city. It was so
Hmm.
beautiful. It was not touristic at all. I didn't saw anyone who was outside of Philippines there, and it was a really nice experience. I love to explore some towns which are not really touristic. Yeah, just trying the local cuisine and everything. I tried the nuts. It's called pili nuts. Not nobody really
Hmm.
knows, but it's really nutritious and really nice food. Like yeah,
Love it. How many countries have you been to now?
almost 55.
And what is your best advice for people who want to like take up this kind of digital nomad life where you're still having to run the business?
Mhm.
Do you have employees now, or are you still running it all by yourself? But they want to be able to travel. Like it's hard. It's hard. Might be hard for somebody to think, how can I juggle both?
So I do have some employees now, but still not
Okay.
a lot. But something like who can add value right now, because I'm doing reselling. I don't really need a lot of employees, but I have something for my inventory management. Someone to coordinate with my supplier, with my shipping agent, making sure the products are delivering on time. So mostly for that, and I have some in India for kind of like labeling, warehousing, checking Amazon returns, and all the stuff. So mostly like that, and other than that, I outsource a lot of things.
Awesome. All right. Well, congrats on being able to restart. Some people might have given up and said, no, this is too much heartbreak for me. I have to, I'm going to go back to law school or something. I don't know. But you completely immediately pivoted and was able to rebuild a 7-figure business. So hopefully this next round in the next couple of years, maybe you'll hit the 8 figures like you couldn't do in the other account, like you almost did. And then we'll have you back to see what you did to get there. So thank you very much. Maraming salamat, and wish you the best of travels, Bali, Greece, or wherever you might go. And hope to see you at another Amazon event soon.
Yeah, Bradley, I just want to share one small thing as well.
Sure.
Uh, I read one quote a few weeks ago, and I also feel this very strongly over the years that every defeat is not a defeat until unless you're not. It's not a death.
Yeah.
So the later you start with any failure, you're just wasting time. And I think that's the quality of the successful people and the normal people. Everyone will have setbacks in life. It could be anything, could be business or something in their personal life. But the longer you will start again, like the time to start again would be the negative aspect, I guess. I think you should be mentally more resilient so that you can act as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So this is very important
I
because
agree.
I realized that, okay, my account suspended. It's okay. Start next day. Why to wait 2 months, 3 months?
Yep.
Just have that kind of mindset. I think it's really important.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Well, thank you very much. And let's see what fun stuff you have to talk about next year, the year after. Let's try not to have 3 years between podcasts
Uh,
next time. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brett. It was a pleasure talking here. Thank you so much for everything.